Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nearpod Draw It slide. Today we're going to get working on your key for the map that we are planning on creating over the next few lessons. So just a couple quick notes before we get started. You definitely want to have a pencil and a piece of paper next to you for this exercise. What we're going to do is plan our key similar to what we did last lesson with our mind map and kind of organizing our thoughts, but now more geared towards the key, which will allow the person reading your map to understand it and to locate certain things, certain important parts that you're going to want located on your map. So let's begin. Um, as I said, having a piece of paper next to you is going to be important because before you submit this, and I'm going to repeat this, before you submit the drawing on the Nearpod app, please make a quick sketch or drawing of what you created on the Draw It slide. Okay, you're not able to go back and reference your ideas if you complete a lesson in Nearpod. So you're going to need some kind of reference because the key is important. You're going to need to have certain elements in the key, and you're going to want to have just a quick copy. It doesn't need to be a drawing or a full-on drawing, just something that is specific to your map that you know you will need once we go to build these maps in later lessons. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. One of the requirements for your map is a title for your map. So as you remember from the last lesson, I am planning a map around my weekend trips to go see my parents in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. So I'm just going to use the typing agent here to just write my title, the title of my map. I think I'm going to use the color green. And again, you could play with the size of the text. I'm gonna kind of go. Well, before I choose that, I'm gonna stretch it because I want my title at the top. I think it's best to put the title at the top. It just makes it clear what you are. Makes it clear that the title's at the top and the information is below. So all right, just kind of getting started here, stretching it out a bit, and then I'm going to just drag it up to the top. Again, drag tool is the little cross here, and then if you wanted to get rid of it, trash, and then the two little blue buttons to kind of stretch it. So I'm stretching it across my page, and I'm going to use the color green. I'm going to enter my text. So I'm going to call it, let's call it Pisacano Poconos weekend. All right, and I'm just gonna play with the size of it just a bit. I don't want it to be too big, but a little too big. I think that looks good right there. And look at that, I misspelled my name. Weird. Okay, so we have your title. You can then click back to get rid of the box to the drawing tool. Double click on the drawing tool. All right, so we have our title. Now what we're gonna need to do is open a second typing box. We're gonna drag it underneath on the left-hand side, and you want it to be about half of what's left of the page. So I would say maybe not half, maybe about just shy of a half of the page, and you want to drag it all the way down to the bottom of your screen here. Okay, you got two separate text boxes. That's not an issue, but we're going to start typing now in this one. You're going to want the size of the type. Oh, that's strange. Let me just go back. Get rid of that. Oh, that's strange. Try that again. Okay, so moving that up, and then stretching it down. Again, about that size. We want to leave some space over here to be able to draw and collage some images, and I'll talk more about that later. I'm going to lower the tight. Okay, keeping it small will just be able to allow you to more space to write. And then at the top to start, this is going to be where we're going to start to generate our key and the symbols, right? We've talked a lot about symbols over the past few lessons. I'm actually going to do this in black. So you could put key slash symbols, okay, because symbols are going to represent small symbols, small drawings are going to represent major parts of the map that we're going to want people to understand in the larger drawing that you'll make, which will be the actual map. So keys and symbols, okay, and then I'm just going to skip down a line. So number one, first thing we're going to need to think about is the geography of the map. Okay, now again, this is a little kind of tricky, but you know, I'm taking a very kind of basic approach to map making. I'm mapping an actual place. Now, as I said, you know, over and over again, you guys are allowed to choose whatever thing it is you want to map. Okay, I mentioned that, you know, being an expert in something would help. So if you wanted to map out, like, for instance, your daily schedule or what you do on the weekends, or you want to map out an imaginary place or a place that you know, that doesn't exist or is on another world, like, the possibilities are endless. So really take advantage of that. But I'm gonna just be modeling it as though I was planning my own Pocono weekend. And when I think about the geography, the trip spans across New York and obviously Pennsylvania. Okay, so there's, I'm going to skip down a line. City, I definitely see a lot of city on the trip. And I also see a lot of forest, obviously. Mountains, a few mountains driving through. Small mountains, not large ones. And yeah, a lot of forest, kind of plant life, things like that. So that's good. That kind of gives me like a general idea of what I wanna capture in the map. Let's go ahead and move down, skipping another line, just hitting return. Number two, you're definitely gonna need roads. Okay, now again, this depends, you know, upon the choice of your own map. If you're a person that is, you know, traveling some kind of road to get there, like I am, you know, that's fine. Or if somebody's flying a plane, like, what's the track of that plane? Or if they're taking it like a railroad, we're gonna need to know, like, how people are getting around in a map. Whatever mode that is your choice, but we're gonna need to see some sort of road or guidance as to how to move throughout the map. Okay, so in my case, it's roads, and there are a few roads that I want to mention. First, coming out when I leave Queens, Astoria, I drive into the Bronx, and then I cross over on the George Washington Bridge, GWB. So I want to have that somewhere in the map. Also, there's a really lovely highway called the Palisades that we take up, that kind of goes through New York and actually New Jersey, which kind of brings me back up here. I could put New Jersey back in here as well. New York, whoops. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I don't spend a ton of time in Pennsylvania, or rather New Jersey, but just to mention it, just in terms of the geographical characteristics of the map. So the Palisades, I drive also on Route 17, and then also I 84, which pretty much brings me to my parents' house. So definitely the roads and what kind of roads and naming them those roads or remembering them. Again, it really depends. Are you working from memory or are you working from your imagination and kind of making these decisions based in those two kind of big buckets? Moving on, third are landmarks. Okay, so um, things that you notice again if you're working from memory, things that kind of you always see or have seen while you're on this or explaining this map. Landmarks. Let me just change that. Great. So for me, going to the Poconos, we always stop at this gas station. I forget the name of it. I'll have it. I'll ask my wife what the name of it is. But there's this gas station. The gas is super cheap. It's on Route 17, so I definitely want to include that. We also take a little time to stretch our legs. Sometimes I stop at the supermarket that's in Pennsylvania. It's a place called IGA. I'll just abbreviate it. That's the supermarket I sometimes stop at, and then the lake too. I mean, coming around the lake, you know that you're close, or when we get close to the lake, we know we're close to our parents, and we know that the trip is almost over. So that's something else to consider. All right, so I got two or three landmarks here. I think that you should have at least two or three yourself. Let's go ahead and see. Next would be, um, I wouldn't say that this is typically included on like a traditional map, but I want to know what the weather was like when you were taking this trip. Again, if you're working from memory, thinking back to the trip that you took in the map that you're making, like what was it like out? Really, anything that you noticed in terms of the weather. Was it cool? Was it hot? Were you sweating? Was it cold? Any kind of thing, any things like that. I think would be a nice addition to the map. So I'm gonna go. So weather status, I think, is fine. Again, that's up to you. You're working from memory. Again, you're thinking about it. If you're working from your imagination, you really have free reign, to create sort of an atmosphere that you think would be kind of a cool addition to your map. Again, it's really your choice. So, weather status for sure. For me, the weather status the last time I went up, it was cool, and the day was ending, so it was the sun was setting. Okay, so definitely want to show that somewhere in the map. That'd be kind of neat. Moving along, just a few more. We have five. Who are the travelers? So, is it you? Is it you and your family? Um, is it some made up character? Again, depending if you're working on memory, from memory, or your imagination. So, who are the travelers? For me, it's myself and my wife, Kayla. All right. And that could be kind of done in a couple of ways. I think again, we're gonna go through each of these once we get through this last requirement, and then talk a little bit more about what kind of symbols we could use for each of these things in accordance with my idea here. All right, so number 6, we got. It would be obviously the starting point and the destination. Okay. Starting point and destination. So, as you all know, I live in Astoria, Queens, which is close to the Triborough Bridge, which is very close to school. So Astoria, and then I'm traveling to a place in Pennsylvania called the Poconos. So Astoria to the Poconos. So some kind of beginning and end will definitely be important for your map. Okay, so gotten through a quick list. Now we're gonna use a lot of the same techniques that we've used in past draw it Nearpod slides with a combination of quick draws and collaging images. We're gonna try and create sort of like a little detailed kind of symbols that we think we might use for the final key. So I'm gonna go from the typing agent now back to the drawing tool. And I'm going to just start right up top here with number 1, geography, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So again, cities, forest, mountains. So I'm just going to make like some quick draws, quick sketches. Okay, do like a, and I'm going to do it right next to it. So just go ahead and draw in some mountains here. Again, I'm not like spending a ton of time, with a ton of detail. I just want to kind of get the basic drawing down. It's okay to kind of go into, some of your letters and just make sure that things are clear. So I got a little mountain here. Let's go with the little forest. Start with some fall leaves. I'm just going to kind of add in like, some scribbles, and then I'll kind of also add in, change colors, do a little fall theme here. Okay, so these are kind of, not only are they giving me ideas in terms of the symbols that I might want to use, it's also giving me a lot of clues in terms of like what the actual map will look like. The overall map will look like once we go to create it. So yeah, just some quick trees, and it's pretty easy. Mountains, forests, and then you know what? I did some drawing here. Why don't I go ahead and take a break from drawing, add a collage, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and put in the word city. And again, we'll be working on these maps later in the week. Let's make it more specific. New York City. You know what? Let's make it Astoria because that's the starting point. Okay, so look in here. Astoria. Maybe I should put Astoria, New York. Let me try that one more time. Astoria, New York. That I think will get us better. Yeah, so yeah, this looks, a lot of these pictures look, might have walked down a few of these blocks actually. So I like this picture. Let's go ahead and take that one. Okay, I'm just gonna drag it up first a little bit and then pinch it. I'm actually gonna tuck it behind the tree right there, because once I move it, or I go back to the drawing tool rather, it'll kind of like tuck behind the drawing. All right, so I just didn't want it to block the word weekend. And then back to the drawing tool, I have a cool little thing there. I'm gonna add one more detail in terms of geography. There are these really beautiful like wildflowers that I see, especially when I get close into Pennsylvania. They start green and then they turn this bright yellow right at the tips, and I just think they're really pretty. And I know I definitely want to have that. Could probably use that later on for my overall map design. Back to the drawing tool and just kind of put in some of those little tops there. Just again, like, it's just, I'm not really like thinking, I'm not trying to draw a perfect, flower, just little kind of doodles here, a little doodling. All right. Roads, George Washington Bridge, Palisades, Route 17. I'm not going to put in a ton of detail with this. I definitely want a reference picture for the George Washington Bridge. GWB. Search that. Okay, got some good ones here. Really love this bridge a lot. Love crossing it. I really like when they fly the American flag. I don't know if anybody's ever crossed it. They do it on the big holiday weekends. They fly the big flag, this massive flag. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put a picture in there, squinch it down just a little bit. Some of it will be tucked behind the mountain, but that's okay. Again, it's just kind of like a visual reference here, a little doodle collage. Going back to the drawing tool. That looks, yeah, it's, and you can kind of see like I'm keeping things close together. It's kind of turning into its own picture, which I'm really happy about. Let's go. I'm not gonna draw. I'm just gonna draw like a road, represent Route 17, Palisades, 84. Maybe I'll put like a sign for 84. This will be easy enough. I'm gonna do a little. Look at this road here. Kind of have it like coming off the bridge. Again, using that space that I haven't yet used, keeping things really close together. Again, take your time. I know I'm moving maybe a little fast and it takes you a little bit of time. Pause the video. Pause the video, kind of catch up, see what I've done, and then just jump right back in when you're caught up. Take time with this. Craftsmanship really does count. And we can get a lot done with with this app. All right, so moving on to landmarks, gas station, IGA. Let's start first with IGA. I'm gonna see if I get a picture. Let's see. They have a very particular logo. See if they. Oh yeah, they do have it. Yeah, this is what it is. Perfect. Oh wow, very easy. Look at that. So I got the one I wanted right on the first shot. Go ahead and kind of move that in. Kind of like it kind of tucked in there right by the road. It's kind of cool. I think that works. Back to the drawing tool. Oh, so this might come up where some of your drawings might overlap. I think, a little overlap is all right, but this is kind of blocking part of the word. I want to make sure that that's clear, so you could just simply use your eraser. Kind of go back in there and just kind of get rid of those spots you don't want to see. You can also kind of tighten up your drawing a bit. There we go. I like the way that looks. Nice and neat. All right. Let's see. So we got landmarks, IGA, got gas station, the lake. Let's do. What can we do for the lake? I want to just do a quick drawing for the lake. The lake's massive. But we'll do like a little quick drawing here, a little fun lake. Maybe we'll put like someone out on the boat. So we got the lake here. Put it right up there. Just a small little quick, drawing. Not thinking, just kind of going with it, seeing what happens. So I got the lake here. I'm gonna draw someone on a little boat. That'd be kind of fun. We'll just do a black, nice little black outline boat. Look again, just a little boat there, and let me get a sailboat. Why not do a little mast? Boom. I mean, I'm not wasting time on detail. I'm just using simple lines here. Simple lines, simple shapes, quick color in. Boom. So I got the lake, got a boat out on the lake. I'll make that a white boat in there, a little detail. Looks cool. Little deck there. Boom. Alright, so we got the lake. And this could be like a little symbol for the lake, the boat, or IGA on my travels. Let me keep this moving. So let's move down to the weather. So last time I went up, it was cool and it was dusk, so the sun was setting. Let's go ahead and do like a quick little draw, add in some like an. Let me see if I can pull off like a quick evening night sky. See if I can make that happen. All right. Okay, and let's put in some quick trees, little pine trees. Pine trees are my favorite. I can just make that a little bit bigger, save some time. Some pine trees in there, driving along the road. You know, quick little trees. Again, just, kind of going with it, seeing what happens. Some trees. As I said, it was dusk, but I'm just gonna. By the time we got there, it was pretty dark. So saw the moon for sure. Put a little crescent moon in there. Some stars maybe, kind of glistening in the. Oops. All right. Okay. And then it was cool out. You know what? We never get to use this tool. Gonna put some nice little shadows and clouds in there, kind of showing a little cool night, a little mist like that. Mist kind of spooky around the moon. Never get to use that highlighter tool. All right, so we're almost at the end here. Travelers, I'm not gonna take time drawing myself and Kayla, but I will search our car. I think that'll work in terms of the thing that will be carrying us traveling, right? So Kayla has a Jeep Wrangler. Let's see if I can find. She's got a gray one. See if we can find a gray one. This one might work. This looks kind of like ours. Let's pick this one. Yeah, that works great. So I'm just gonna squinch it down, and look, I could just kind of squeeze it in right into the drawing there, and I'll be able to use the eraser tool to, kind of blend it in just a little bit better. Again, I gotta go back to the drawing tool. Gets blocked a little bit, no big deal. Go ahead and just use that eraser tool, and it leaves behind the truck underneath. There you go. All right, and then finally the destination point, the Poconos and Astoria, where I'm coming from. So my building name, I might do some kind of building similar to the picture up here, but the name of my building is called Stella Court. So I'm just gonna put the name in right now, and then maybe decide later based on the picture I have up top there what the actual symbol will be. What will it be? A building or something else. So put in Stella Court. And just kind of drag. I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger. All right, so Stella Court. I'm just gonna drag it so it's kind of lined up there, right on top of the truck. Okay, back to the drawing tool, and then finally, gonna need to use that eraser tool. No big deal. Just use that eraser tool. We can kind of actually just get rid of all that work negatively. All right. So we got Stella Court. We got the lake. We got the truck. Lastly, the Poconos, the destination. So, I mean, we're thinking about symbols, so we don't want to do like very complex drawings. One thing that I always think about when I think about my parents' place in the Poconos is my mother's hammock. A hammock. I don't know if you guys ever seen or laid in a hammock. It's like one of those sheets that's strung up between two poles or like two trees, and you kind of sway in it. It's kind of like a sleeping bag, but tied in between two trees. So I'm gonna use that as a symbol, and I'm gonna draw that because that's gonna be kind of fun to draw. So it's this. My mother has this like freestanding hammock that she really loves to lay and read in. particularly on like a really nice sunny day. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly draw in that hammock. Kind of looks like that. And just like really quickly, just because I think it'll be fun, just draw my mom kind of peeking out the top. When you're looking at someone in a hammock, you just kind of see the top of their head there, and then maybe their hair, right, and then maybe you'll see just the tops of their feet like that as they're kind of lounging. Mom's always got a book open. So yeah, so there you go. There you have it. This is just a way again to kind of develop our key. Again, as I mentioned, before you submit this drawing in Nearpod, if you can either take a screenshot of it so you have it stored, or with a pencil and paper, just quickly jot down your key ideas as you've created it, as I have, in the Nearpod app. Make sure you have some quick sketches just of some of the stuff that you want to include or you think you'll include for your key. You will need it for the next lesson. If I'm correct, you're going to be doing this lesson Friday, October 16th. That means that a whole weekend's going to pass before you see the next part of this lesson, which is going to be Monday. Again, take a screen cap of your picture before you submit it to Nearpod, or make a quick drawing and list out your keys and symbol ideas on a sheet of paper. Also include some quick illustrations. Again, this is just planning, but I want you to have your ideas in front of you, since you are not able to go back into the Nearpod lesson once you've completed it and submitted it. Okay? Again, thanks for hanging out and listening. I hope you guys have fun. Any questions, please reach out, and I will see you next time.